Okay. Yeah, mic's working. All right. Sprawl Racer here. Update is done. We're still waiting for iRacing servers to go live. But I want to do a quick video going over the new TCR updates on the Honda Civic, just to kind of share my opinion. I loaded up at Okayama. I'm going to take a peek at the garage first. I don't expect anything new there. Tires, we do have option for wet. It's just baseline setup. High nose weight, cross weight's 50. This one has where you have to adjust the spring perch and rate at the same time. So it seems like the GTE just got that set ride height adjustment. I'm not going to read all that. So, I mean, the car is essentially the same in the garage, but how does it feel on track? I do enjoy racing the Clio from time to time. I don't mind a front-wheel drive car. However, I was never a big fan of the TCRs on iRacing for whatever reason, but we'll see if this gets or feels any better. Adjust my seat here. Oh, also we have, I don't know if you could see it here, the new iRacing telemetry. Actually ended up right, so I'm going to switch over so you can see what I see on screen. I'm going to hide myself for a moment. So this is my dashboard here. I run over to the bottom left, and below that looks like the new iRacing telemetry box. Let me get it in gear. So that looks decent, I guess. I'll probably just end up turning that off. It just happened to fit underneath that perfectly, which is kind of neat, I guess. But yeah, let's go back, turn me on, go back over here, boom. All right, but let's roll out on track, see how the car feels, get an idea. So it feels, I mean, as I get on gas, it feels very understeery still. Just to be expected. My frame rate is not doing amazing, but Process Lasso had an update. I probably just need to restart the computer. Also, any track with the 3D curbs just doesn't do too well. I'm kind of not really oh, skill issue. I didn't think I was attacking too hard there. Just kind of building speed up was the plan. Kind of similar how I drive the Clio. Smooth as fast. I had pretty good rotation there. I wasn't even on the brakes, but just off throttle rotation felt really good there.
48.92.
Roll the brake bias back to 50.2. I mean, it feels intuitive, a lot like the Clio. I haven't adjusted my wheel settings at all. Usually I run something a little different on front-wheel drive cars. Slightly different settings. It feels okay. It just feels like what you expect a front-wheel drive race car to feel like. It definitely has more power than the Clio. I will say the Clio, I think, feels faster, and that could be just because I've raced the Clio more, where I'm just practicing by myself, and with other cars around, this probably feels a little quicker. But I think with no ABS, and how small and compact the Clio is when you're racing, it just feels fast, even though it's not. Where I'm confident I'm going quicker right now. However, because I'm by myself, the car's a little bit bigger. It doesn't feel like the same sensation of speed. Felt really good through there again. And this is just the baseline setup too. I'm sure there's things you kind of exploit to really get it to rotate.
That was your fastest lap of the session.
It still feels like a car you have to be smart while driving. Over driving, it's definitely going to punish you. Like, I don't feel like, again, I don't see a little bit of a slide there and some ABS engagement, but I don't feel like I'm overly attacking. I feel like I'm trying to be patient, trying to be smooth, and it's rewarding me some. Ultimately, I could be 3 seconds off the pace. But yeah, that last little bit before turn-in, I'm gonna roll the brake bias back, 49.5. There's just like a little moment before turn-in where the brakes feel like they're trying to lock up, and I don't feel like I'm pushing them that hard. That could be a skill issue, that could be a setup adjustment. But that is kind of what I'm struggling with there a little bit. That last little 5-10% of braking before turn-in. Like I kind of messed that up there and definitely lost some momentum coming onto the main straight.
41.27. That was your fastest lap of the session.
Yeah, my frame rate and my draw distances seem a little off. Usually just restarting the computer will solve that. But no, the car feels better to drive. I think it feels a little more intuitive. I've been picking up pace pretty much each lap, I'm pretty sure. That felt better on braking there. Much better. Moving that bias rearward. I can't even say that. Yeah, moving the brake bias back definitely helped there. That last little bit of braking for me. That could be the tires just coming up to temperature. It could be the bias, but it definitely feels like it's getting better. I feel like I have more ability to attack. Definitely better this lap than last lap coming off that corner. This should put us sub 140.
39.67. That was your fastest lap of the session.
And I drove it in way too deep there. Trying to forget that I'm driving a front wheel drive car and just drive it. And it is punishing me. So going into turn one and what is that? 3 or 4 over the 2, I don't know what corners numbered what. I was kind of removing it from my brain that this was a front wheel drive car and immediately punished myself. So definitely have to be mindful. I'm gonna finish this lap up, we'll stop, we'll look at tire temperatures and everything, and maybe we'll hop into the Hyundai and see how it feels. Definitely abusing the tires right now. It does feel a lot better to drive than I remember it being. A lot more intuitive. It might be a controversial opinion, but I think it actually takes more skill to drive a front-wheel drive car fast, and is just a higher skill ceiling. Some people might not like or agree with that, but definitely a
40.58.
so yeah, let's see here. And my laps here. So yeah, 48, 41, 41, 39, back to a 40. But again, I was making mistakes there. I'm gonna grab a screenshot real quick, cut, edit. We'll hop into Hyundai. All right, so jumping into the Hyundai. It's still at Okayama. It's loading up now. The Honda felt better than I remembered. I don't run the TCR a lot. I have practiced it plenty of times, but just was never a big fan of it. It feels, in practice, slower than the Clio, but I think that's because there are assists, and I think the Clio is just a little more sporty and fun to throw around. I think once you're racing with other cars, the TCR will race better than before and feel quicker. And setups fail. Just do fixed, apply. Okay. Setups do fail when you get into the car for the first time, but let's hop into the Hyundai and see what we think of that. 39.6 or a higher 39 was our best lap in the Honda, but I wasn't really trying to push at all. I was just trying to kind of build up a little bit of speed. So, we'll try to do that here with the Hyundai. This is the Elantra, not the Velociter. So the Hyundai already feels like it wants to rotate a lot more under braking. Steering feels lighter than the Honda, but I think it'll start to feel heavier once the tires come up to temperature. Brakes are much louder. Definitely much louder braking. I think I was on baseline with the Honda, and here I'm on the fixed setup. That could be playing a role, but already I feel like the Hyundai, or let's call it the Elantra. I have a hard time saying Hyundai. The Elantra does feel like it rotates much better off throttle and under braking, and I'm at 53% on the bias, where I was sub 50 by the end of my run. But already out the gate, I'm feeling like the Elantra feels like a much better car. But just because it feels better don't mean it's faster. So I'm gonna roll the bias back down to a 51.5.
46.87.
Yeah, already a little quicker. I mean, it was a 48 my first lap with the Honda, but obviously I was just driving a front-wheel drive car. Mentally, I was a little better on that second out lap than I was the first, so that's not going to be the judge, but we'll see how quick this is. This does feel like the better car. Just feels better, feels more engaging in the hands, feels like it rotates better off throttle. I still have that issue at the very last bit of braking before turning in. Not as severe with this car as the Honda. I think that's just because I've only done a few laps, but I think that's kind of a skill issue, and I expect it to go away when the tires come up to temperature again. I think lap 4 is where I set my quickest lap with the Civic. It's funny, I think I owned the old Audi, both Hyundais, the Civic, and I don't think I've ever done an official race in a TCR. I've wanted to, I just did not enjoy driving them. So I'm on track to be quicker with this car, but it doesn't seem like it's by a whole lot. And I really think there's probably some difference between the baseline and the fix setup. So yeah, still that little bit of a uncomfortability at that last bit of braking. I'm gonna go to 50.3 on the bias. Right through there. That's the best any car's ever rotated for me in that corner. Back to the throttle a little too soon. It does punish me a little bit, but not much. I'm actually surprised once I got to the grass it didn't suck me further out. Giggity. Just kidding. Yeah, so we're already on lap 3 or coming up to lap 3, and I'm already kind of on par with the Civic.
That was your fastest lap of the session.
And I went in just a little too deep there, but it worked. Yeah, I think I'm gonna set a quicker lap here with this car unless I throw it away. But I really think that little bit of a difference could be skill issue on top of slight variations in setup. I wish I would have done the baseline set instead of the fix set. But I do feel like this car feels better in my hands than the Honda does. Which really doesn't surprise me. As this car was initially built after the Honda, and the Honda's an older chassis. It's not the newest spec of the Honda Civic touring car. Yeah, it just feels so much better in the hands. Again, I'll say that's probably some of that setup. I'm sure some of that skill issue. But if I had to pick one to race out the gate, I'd definitely pick this over the Civic, which I love Hondas. Feels blasphemous to say that. But yeah, no, there we go. I mean, that was significantly quicker in this car.
A3, that was your fastest lap of the session.
And yeah, no, hopefully that's helpful to anybody interested in the TCR. I would say I'm much more interested in racing it now than I was prior to the update. It does feel much more engaging like the Clio. I will say I think the Clio is... how do I say this? I think the Clio is going to be the best racing front-wheel drive car in the service. One, it's a single-make series, so you don't have to worry about any BOP issues. Two, it's just a lighter, smaller car that's easy to throw around. It handles contact reasonably well. And I think the Clio is going to be the king of the front-wheel drive cars as far as racing goes. But I feel like the TCR is in a much, much better spot. At least just doing these 8 laps between 2 cars, I feel much more confident that I would enjoy racing it where before I would practice and the car just felt dead. It felt unalive. And it just wasn't for me. I'll kind of hold my last judgment until I do an official race. But I would say this is a big step in the right direction. Kudos to iRacing. Now go get to work on dirt oval updates on the cars, the surface. Go work on that, please. TCRs are fine. GT3s are fine. GT4s are fine. GTEs are fixed. GTPs are fixed. Same with IMSA vintage IMSA. I'm assuming I got to try that next. But yes, this is a big positive update for the TCR, for iRacing. Now fix some dirt oval content, please. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this, and have a great day wherever you are.